If you're a man over 60, you've probably noticed some changes in your body. A little more belly fat, less energy in the morning, trouble focusing, lower libido, lighter sleep. Most guys just accept it. It's part of aging, they say. But what if I told you that some of the foods you eat every day, especially certain vegetables, might be silently killing your testosterone? That's right. Vegetables you've been told were healthy may actually be the reason why you're feeling more tired, weaker, and disconnected from your drive. It sounds crazy, but when you hear the science behind it, it will all make sense. You see, keeping testosterone high after 60 isn't impossible. Your body still makes this hormone, it just needs the right environment. The problem is most men are unknowingly sabotaging their own hormone production through everyday habits. And food is a big one. Certain vegetables, especially 5 in particular, have been linked to mineral deficiencies, hormonal imbalance, estrogen dominance, and chronic inflammation, all of which destroy your testosterone from the inside out. And the worst part? These are vegetables men eat in salads, soups, and lunches, thinking they're doing something good. But I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to give you a roadmap. In this series, I'll walk you through the 5 vegetables every man over 60 should avoid, what they do to your body, how to replace them, and what to eat instead to protect your strength, energy, and manhood. You don't need extreme diets or expensive pills. You just need to know what to stop putting on your plate. Small changes, big results. I've seen men transform their energy, muscle tone, sleep, and even sex drive within weeks by making these adjustments. And here's the warning. The last vegetable on this list is the one most men eat thinking it's good for their heart. But after 60, it can silently work against you. So stick with me. This isn't fear-mongering, it's information. And if you're serious about protecting your body, keeping your testosterone strong, and aging with power and confidence, this is where it starts. One of the most common things I hear from men in my clinic is, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore." They're not talking only about sex, though that's part of it. They're talking about waking up with purpose, feeling sharp and strong, having the motivation to move, to focus, to live fully. And many of them don't realize the connection between how they feel and what they're eating, especially when it comes to food they've always considered healthy. The truth is, after 60, your body changes, and what used to help you may now be harming you. Testosterone isn't just a sex hormone. It's your power source. It drives your mental clarity, muscle strength, confidence, metabolism, and motivation. When testosterone drops, everything becomes harder. You get tired faster. You struggle to concentrate. You lose muscle. You gain belly fat. You stop feeling that inner fire that once made you feel alive. And the scariest part? This hormonal drop is often gradual. Some men don't realize what's happening until it feels like the light inside them has gone dim. But in many cases, it's not age. It's exposure to the wrong foods, the wrong signals, the wrong nutrients. There's a dangerous myth that says, the more vegetables, the better. But not all vegetables are your friends. Some contain anti-nutrients that block the absorption of zinc, a mineral crucial for testosterone production. Others mimic estrogen, the female hormone, and disrupt your hormonal balance. Some spike inflammation. And the worst of all, they're in your fridge right now. You're not being warned about them because most diets are designed for the general population, not for the hormonal needs of men in their 60s or older. But you deserve to know the truth. In the next chapters, I'll break down each of these 5 testosterone-damaging vegetables, explain the science behind their effects, and show you what to eat instead. You'll learn practical, easy-to-implement strategies that you can start today. No gimmicks, no fads, just real, lasting results. Because what you put on your plate today determines how strong, focused, and driven you'll feel tomorrow. And I'll say this. The first mistake we'll look at is something nearly every man over 60 is doing without knowing it's draining his masculinity. Let's begin. Let's get straight to it. The first vegetable you need to seriously reconsider is soy, and anything made from it. Soybeans, soy milk, tofu, soy protein powders, veggie burgers, they all share one critical feature. They contain compounds called phytoestrogens. These are plant-based substances that mimic estrogen in the body. That's right, the female hormone. And while they may not be harmful in small amounts for the general population, for men over 60 who are already fighting a natural decline in testosterone, phytoestrogens can tip the balance in the wrong direction. Here's what most men don't realize. Testosterone and estrogen are like two sides of a scale. Your body needs both, but when one rises too much, the other drops. And after 60, your testosterone is already declining naturally. Adding high levels of phytoestrogens can create a hormonal imbalance that leads to lower libido, mood swings, increased belly fat, breast tissue enlargement, and even problems with erectile function. It's not about fear, it's about biochemistry. Your endocrine system is highly sensitive to dietary signals, and soy sends the wrong signal. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but isn't soy healthy? That's the trap. Soy is marketed as a heart-friendly, high-protein, cholesterol-lowering option. And for some people in moderation, it might be. But for older men, it's a different story. Your body no longer processes estrogenic compounds as efficiently as it did in your youth. What used to be harmless can now accumulate and slowly suppress your body's ability to produce and regulate testosterone. I've had patients cut out soy completely and within weeks notice improvements in mental clarity, body composition, and morning energy. So what should you eat instead? If you're looking for a protein-rich alternative, choose eggs, lentils, wild-caught salmon, or organic meats. These not only support healthy testosterone production, but also provide critical nutrients like zinc, omega-3s, and B vitamins. The goal here isn't to fear food, it's to understand what supports your biology and what silently undermines it. Cutting out soy is the first step, but there are 4 more vegetables we need to talk about. And the next one is even more common and even more misunderstood. You've probably heard that flax seeds are a nutritional powerhouse. They're often praised for heart health, digestion, and omega-3 content. And yes, for many people, flax can be beneficial. But for men over 60, regularly consuming flaxseed, flax oil, or even flax-enriched bread can quietly sabotage your testosterone. Why? Because flax is one of the richest sources of lignans, another type of plant-based compound that mimics estrogen in the body. And just like the phytoestrogens found in soy, lignans send a message your male body no longer needs. The problem is subtle but powerful. Lignans attach to estrogen receptors in your cells, sending signals that tell your body, we already have enough. That confuses your hormonal feedback loop. Your body senses estrogen activity, and in response, it slows down testosterone production. For younger men with high testosterone levels, this may have a minor effect. But if you're over 60, when hormone sensitivity increases and testosterone is naturally lower, this signal hits much harder. You may notice it in small ways. Less motivation, a weaker grip, slower recovery after workouts, or feeling off without knowing why. What makes this mistake so dangerous is that flax is hidden in many foods men eat every day. Cereals, protein bars, salads, smoothies. It's marketed as clean, light, and anti-inflammatory. But inside your aging hormonal system, it's doing the opposite of what you want. I've worked with men who removed all flax from their diets, and within days reported increased morning energy, fewer mood swings, and improved sexual function. It wasn't magic, it was just biology returning to balance. Sometimes your body isn't broken, it's just being given the wrong signals again and again. If you're looking for a safer source of omega-3s, go with wild-caught salmon, sardines, chia seeds in moderation, or high-quality fish oil. And if you want fiber for digestion, turn to vegetables low in estrogenic compounds, such as zucchini, spinach, or carrots. The key is precision. Your body is no longer 25 years old, and every food you choose either supports your testosterone or suppresses it. Now that we've exposed flax, get ready. The third vegetable on our list is even more common, and most men eat it thinking it will boost their testosterone. You've probably seen it on steakhouse plates, tossed in grilling trays, or listed on low-carb meal plans. I'm talking about broccoli. Yes, the poster child of clean eating. It's often linked to muscle building, testosterone support, and prostate health. But here's what most men over 60 don't know. When consumed in excess, broccoli, along with its cousins cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts, can suppress thyroid function, and that can quietly drain your testosterone, energy, and vitality. Let me explain. These vegetables are part of the cruciferous family, and they contain compounds called goitrogens. Goitrogens interfere with the thyroid's ability to absorb iodine, a mineral essential for healthy thyroid function. Why does that matter? Because your thyroid is like your body's metabolic engine. When it slows down, so does everything else. Energy, metabolism, focus, and yes, testosterone production. The connection is direct. A sluggish thyroid equals reduced hormonal signaling, which can make you feel fatigued, cold, unmotivated, and weaker day by day. Now, this doesn't mean you can never eat broccoli again. The key is how much, how often, and in what form. Steaming or cooking these vegetables can reduce their goitrogenic effects, but when eaten raw or in large portions, such as daily green smoothies packed with kale, cabbage, or raw broccoli, they can push your thyroid into underperformance. And here's the catch. Most men don't associate thyroid function with their strength or masculinity. But as soon as they reduce these vegetables or rotate them properly, many notice a difference. Deeper sleep, more stable energy, and a return of that fire that seemed gone. If you still want the benefits of cruciferous vegetables without the hormonal cost, stick to cooked portions a few times per week and focus more on testosterone-friendly greens like asparagus, zucchini, green beans, or parsley. These support digestion, detoxification, and mineral absorption without interfering with your hormones. You're not giving up health. You're choosing the right kind of health for your age, your hormones, and your vitality. And now that we've talked about broccoli, let's move on to the fourth mistake, which may be hiding in your fridge right now, disguised as a refreshing, hydrating vegetable. It's one of the most popular vegetables on the planet, found in salads, sandwiches, and juices. It's praised for being refreshing, hydrating, and great for weight loss. But for men over 60, cucumber can be far less innocent than it looks. That's right, cucumbers are over 95% water. But what many don't realize is that they also contain compounds that act as mild endocrine disruptors, and when consumed frequently, they can contribute to lower testosterone, fluid retention, and hormonal imbalance. Here's how. Cucumbers are often grown using pesticides and herbicides rich in xenoestrogens, synthetic chemicals that mimic estrogen in the body. These chemicals accumulate over time and bind to estrogen receptors, confusing your body and throwing off your hormonal rhythm. And because cucumbers are usually eaten raw, thin-skinned, and unpeeled, the level of chemical exposure is even higher, especially if they're not organic. For men in their 60s, whose detoxification systems are already slower, these small daily exposures can quietly tip the scale, making it harder to maintain muscle, drive, and mental clarity. To make matters worse, most men turn to cucumber-rich meals in an effort to eat lighter or improve digestion, especially during summer or after weight gain. But this creates a hidden trap. While you feel clean, your hormonal system is being softened. You might notice water retention, reduced strength, or that dull, flat sensation after eating. It's subtle, but it adds up. I've worked with patients who simply peeled and rotated out their cucumber intake, and within weeks, they reported better focus, stronger morning erections, and increased stamina in daily tasks. Not because cucumbers are evil, but because their body was finally free from constant estrogenic signaling. If you enjoy cucumbers, don't panic. The solution isn't total elimination, it's moderation, proper sourcing, and rotation. Choose organic when possible. Peel them. Don't eat them daily. And if you want something hydrating and testosterone safe, opt for celery, zucchini, or even radish, which help detox the liver and support hormone balance. Remember, it's not about demonizing food. It's about knowing what serves your biology at this stage of life. And now we're down to the final mistake, the most dangerous of them all, because it's the vegetable most older men believe is saving their heart, when in reality, it's destroying their testosterone from the inside out. You've heard it for decades, eat more tomatoes. They're great for your heart. They reduce cancer risk. They're full of antioxidants. And while those claims aren't entirely false, there's a darker truth for men over 60 that few doctors ever mention. Tomatoes, especially when consumed daily in large amounts, can suppress testosterone production through a combination of lectins, solanine, and excessive lycopene exposure, which disrupts your hormonal balance and places constant pressure on your already fragile endocrine system. Let me explain. Tomatoes belong to the nightshade family, a group of vegetables that includes peppers, eggplant, and white potatoes. These plants contain natural defense chemicals like solanine and lectins, which in small doses may not harm the average person. But in aging men, they can cause chronic inflammation, leaky gut, and immune responses that interfere with testosterone signaling. On top of that, when tomatoes are processed into sauces, juices, or pastes, the concentration of these compounds increases, especially the phytoestrogenic effects of lycopene. Ironically, the very thing marketed to protect your heart may be weakening your masculinity day by day. Many older men consume tomatoes in multiple forms: raw in salads, cooked in sauces, blended in juices. That's when it becomes a problem. The body becomes overwhelmed by chemical signals that trigger a reduction in testosterone and a rise in estrogenic activity. You might not notice it immediately, but over time, you'll feel softer, more tired. You'll gain fat in places you never used to. And worst of all, you'll think it's just aging, when in truth, you've been unknowingly feeding your decline with every tomato-rich meal. So what's the solution? Moderation. You don't need to ban tomatoes forever, but avoid eating them daily, especially in processed form. Rotate them, peel them, and pair them with anti-inflammatory foods like turmeric, parsley, or ginger to reduce their impact. Better yet, replace tomato-based sauces with homemade basil pesto, olive oil blends, or roasted garlic spreads. These support your heart and your hormones. The truth is, what's marketed as heart healthy isn't always man healthy. And now that you know the 5 vegetables that quietly drain your testosterone, it's time to turn the page. Because the next chapters are not about what you remove, but about how you rebuild. Now that you know the 5 vegetables to avoid, let's answer the question everyone asks me: how can something so small, like a salad ingredient, affect my hormones this much? The answer lies in how testosterone is produced, managed, and protected inside your body, especially after the age of 60. You see, by the time you reach this stage of life, your body is no longer operating in peak mode. Your hormone production becomes more delicate, your metabolism slows, and your detox systems, liver, kidneys, digestive tract, can't flush out harmful compounds like they once did. So even minor irritants can trigger major consequences. Here's how it works. Testosterone is produced primarily in the testicles, under the direction of the brain, particularly the hypothalamus and pituitary gland. But this process is easily disrupted by inflammatory foods, estrogen-like compounds, and nutrient-blocking chemicals. When you eat something that mimics estrogen, like phytoestrogens in soy, lignans in flax, or pesticide-laced cucumbers, your body gets confused. It thinks it already has enough hormones, so it slows down testosterone production. Add indigestive stress from lectins, or thyroid suppression from goitrogens, and the entire hormonal pipeline begins to collapse. At the same time, chronic low-grade inflammation begins to rise. That's the kind of inflammation you can't feel, but it silently damages cells, stresses your immune system, and disrupts your hormonal communication pathways. Your body now spends more energy fighting stress than it does building testosterone. And because many of these vegetables are eaten in the name of health, you may never suspect that they're the reason you feel off. Suddenly, you're sleeping poorly, gaining fat, forgetting things, losing interest in sex, and wondering what happened to the man you used to be. That's not aging. That's misfiring biology. The good news? This is reversible. When you remove the foods that send the wrong signals, your body remembers how to produce testosterone. When you support your detox systems and reduce internal inflammation, hormone balance begins to return. You feel more energy. Your thinking sharpens. You start waking up with purpose again. That's what we're going to focus on in the next chapters: not just avoiding damage, but rebuilding power. Because the truth is, your body isn't broken, it's been misunderstood. And with the right food, timing, and habits, you can still feel like the man you were always meant to be. If you've been following this far, you may be feeling a mix of emotions: shock, frustration, maybe even regret. That's normal. Many men feel betrayed when they realize they've been eating healthy foods that were slowly draining their masculinity. But let me tell you something important right now. You can change this. You can absolutely restart testosterone production, even after 60, without drugs or artificial hormones. Your body isn't broken, it's just been misled. And when you give it the right inputs, it will respond faster than you think. The first step is simple but powerful. Remove the wrong signals. Eliminate or rotate the 5 vegetables we covered: soy, flax, raw cruciferous vegetables, non-organic cucumber, and tomato-heavy meals. This alone reduces inflammation, resets your hormone feedback loops, and lightens the load on your liver and digestive system. But removing is just one side of the coin. Now we focus on rebuilding. And we do that by restoring the raw materials your body needs to make testosterone: minerals, healthy fats, deep sleep, and morning movement. When you combine those 4, you light the hormonal fire back up. Start with zinc-rich foods: oysters, pumpkin seeds, lean red meat, and eggs. Zinc is a testosterone-building mineral and helps block estrogen conversion. Then add healthy fats like olive oil, avocados, pasture-raised butter, and omega-3s from wild fish. These fats are the building blocks of hormones. Without them, your body can't synthesize testosterone. Next, optimize your sleep. Go to bed before midnight, limit blue light after 9 p.m., and avoid late-night snacks. Testosterone is produced during deep sleep, and most men lose 30 to 50% of that potential just by staying up too late or sleeping in short bursts. Lastly, move your body in the morning. Nothing extreme: a walk, light push-ups, or squats. Movement after waking boosts dopamine, tells your brain you're alive and ready, and signals your endocrine system to raise testosterone levels. Add sunlight for 10 minutes, and you've already done more for your hormones than most supplements ever could. This is how we rebuild from the ground up. No injections, no mystery pills, just discipline, clarity, and consistency. And in the next chapters, we'll go even further into the foods that fuel male energy, mental sharpness, and sexual vitality. You've stopped the damage. Now, let's spark the transformation. Now that we've cleared the path, removing foods that silently drained your testosterone, it's time to rebuild your strength from the inside out. And we're going to do that with food. But not just any food, power foods. These are the ingredients your body craves when it's trying to restore balance, boost testosterone naturally, and regain the clarity, stamina, and drive that once came easily. These aren't fads or trendy superfoods. They're time-tested, hormone-supportive staples that older men can safely and consistently rely on. Let's start with eggs, particularly the yolk. For decades, people were told to fear cholesterol. But testosterone is made from cholesterol. 1 or 2 whole eggs a day, preferably pasture-raised, are a nutritional goldmine for testosterone production. They're rich in vitamin D, choline, and healthy fats that your body uses to create hormones. Next up, grass-fed red meat, eaten in moderation. Red meat contains bioavailable iron, B12, and zinc, essential for male vitality and mental focus. The key is quality, not quantity. Once or twice a week, a well-sourced steak can do more than any synthetic supplement. Then we have avocados and olive oil, your best sources of monounsaturated fats. These fats don't just help produce testosterone, they also improve absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, which are all essential to hormonal and cellular repair. Add wild-caught fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or mackerel 2 to 3 times a week. These deliver omega-3s that fight inflammation, boost brain function, and support cardiovascular health, all while fueling testosterone creation. Want something easy to add every day? 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil first thing in the morning can make a difference in energy and hormone balance over time. And don't forget your dark leafy greens, but choose wisely. Spinach, parsley, and arugula are rich in magnesium and nitrates that improve blood flow and support natural testosterone. Unlike the cruciferous family, these don't contain goitrogens or estrogenic compounds. Want a drink that supports your manhood? Try ginger tea with a pinch of turmeric and black pepper, a powerful anti-inflammatory combination that boosts testosterone and sharpens your brain. When you eat like this, consistently, not perfectly, your body begins to remember what it feels like to be powerful, to wake up energized, to feel like a man again from the inside out. Picture this. You wake up before your alarm, not because you're anxious or uncomfortable, but because your body feels ready. You stretch and your muscles feel engaged, not stiff, not sore, but strong. You walk to the mirror and you notice the puffiness is gone. Your face looks firmer. Your eyes are clearer. And deep inside, there's something else, a quiet energy. It's not just testosterone. It's you coming back. That version of yourself you thought was gone with age is returning. Slowly, powerfully. And it all began when you changed what went on your plate. Within just a few weeks of following this protocol, many men report dramatic changes, more morning energy, firmer erections, mental sharpness, less belly fat, deeper sleep. But beyond the physical, something even bigger happens. Your identity starts to shift. You feel motivated again. You want to move, to build, to lead. You stand up straighter. You speak more clearly. People around you notice something different, but they can't quite put it into words. That's because it's not something you're doing. It's something you're becoming. You're becoming the man your body always had the potential to support. It just needed the right conditions. And the beauty is you didn't need injections, expensive therapies, or miracle pills. You just needed to stop doing what was silently hurting you and start doing what supports your biology. The results don't come from extreme effort. They come from consistent alignment. Your meals now work for you, not against you. Your hormones are no longer in conflict. Your body no longer fights itself. Everything starts to click again. You begin to feel clean inside your head, calm in your chest, and grounded in your body. That's testosterone in its true form. Not aggression, but stability, clarity, and drive. This is the male revival. And it's not a fantasy. It's not reserved for the few. It's available to any man who is willing to break old myths and honor what his biology truly needs. No more chasing youth. You're not trying to be 25 again. You're building something better. A 60-year-old man with strength, wisdom, and fire. That's what's possible when you follow this path. But to make this last, there's one final piece missing, and it's not in your fridge. It's in your daily rhythm. That's what we'll cover next. You now know what to remove. You know what to eat. You felt the power of change and seen the return of your strength. But if you want this transformation to last, if you want to protect your testosterone not just for weeks, but for years, you must build habits that reinforce everything you've just learned. Because at the end of the day, it's not the big events or one-time choices that define your health. It's the daily rhythm you live by. And the good news? That rhythm can be simple, clear, and sustainable. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Here are the habits I recommend to every man over 60 who wants to stay sharp, strong, and full of drive. 1. Wake up early and move. Within 30 minutes of waking, go for a light walk, stretch, or do a few bodyweight exercises. Movement signals your brain to produce dopamine and testosterone. Add 10 minutes of sunlight and you've already primed your entire endocrine system for the day. 2. Eat protein and healthy fat with every meal. Whether it's eggs, salmon, grass-fed meat, or pumpkin seeds, pair it with avocado, olive oil, or butter. This keeps your hormones stable and your energy levels strong. Avoid low-fat, high-carb breakfasts that spike blood sugar and crash your focus. 3. Remove toxic triggers. Rotate out the 5 vegetables you've learned about. Choose organic when possible. Stay away from soy, flax-heavy snacks, and tomato overload. Keep your thyroid and testosterone breathing freely. 4. Go to bed before 11 p.m. Deep sleep between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is when most natural testosterone is released. Stay consistent. Avoid blue light at night and let your room be dark and cool. 5. Prioritize strength over speed. You don't need to run marathons, but lifting, pushing, carrying, using your muscles, remind your body that you are a man who moves with purpose. Strength training once or twice a week is a gift to your hormones. 6. Protect your mind. Stress is the silent killer of testosterone. Practice moments of stillness, deep breathing, disconnect from screens. Spend time with people who lift you up. Your mental space is as important as your meal plan, because in the end, testosterone is more than a hormone, it's a message. It tells your body you're still alive, still fighting, still building, still desired, still leading. When you honor that message with the right foods, movement, rest, and purpose, your body listens. And it responds with clarity, strength, and energy you thought you had lost forever. If this journey helped you, share it with another man who needs it. Your brother, your father, your friend. Most are silently struggling, unsure why they feel so far from who they once were. But now you have the map. And I'll leave you with one question. What are you doing today that your body will thank you for tomorrow?